about it. Are we ready? There you go. That's the stuff. That's the theater side, you know? When you prepare to talk to the person in the right way, the first 7 seconds, sold. Because you know what to talk about. When you go on a date, that's it. Who will you think have the highest possibility of have a positive outcome on that date? What is value? Then we go to discovery, the magical phase. Cool. Taking the lead. What does leading actually mean? And how do you lead? What does leading mean? Leading means a leader brings a person, a group, or a project from point A to point B. And a leader does this in the most efficient way possible. That's your goal as a leader. And when you're in that sales call, you are the person, when you're in that sales conversation, you are the person who's gonna take them by their hand from point A to point B. You're not leading a company maybe, but you're leading the conversation. You are a leader when you're in a conversation with a guy or a girl or whatsoever in between to get them from point A to point B. That's your job. It's your job to help them. But how do you lead? I personally have a couple of distinctions for leading that helps me personally in my way of taking the lead in a call. So this is just all personal. It helps for me and maybe it would help for you. That's why there's distinction. Facts versus stories. We're all people, but we all have voices in our heads. We all have stories that we tell ourselves all the time. That's what makes us human. That's what builds society in general. Our skill sets of creating stories. That's how we can work together, by believing in a story. But what are the facts? What is actually going on? What needs to be done? Facts versus stories. You do this as well. Everyone does this. When you want to take the garbage out, you think, it's smelly and I don't want to take the garbage out. It stinks and my hands will get dirty and I just showered. I'll do it tomorrow, or okay, I will do it. But you do it with all those stories in your head. Well, what's the fact here? You need to walk to the garbage can, you need to take the sack out, you put a knot in it, and you bring it out. That's a fact. That's what you need to do. That's what gets you from point A to point B. Not the stories about how disgusting or gross the garbage is. For example, sometimes I personally have this a lot and I know this distinction, so then the voice in my head say, you're just setting up stories again. And that's how you integrate your own mind. It's kind of crazy. That you need to do a task and you think, I don't want to do the task. And you just keep on setting it forth, setting it forth, setting it forth. And when you actually did the tasks, it only will cost you 5 minutes. But you setting the task forward took you 2 hours or a couple of days or whatsoever. That's also an example of just what are the facts and what are stories. Just do the thing that needs to be done. And be radical honest. From my personal experience, from talking with companies who made millions and just the starter just getting a course and wanting to sell the course, being radically honest and being really open about that helps you further along in the process. Because if you point out the stories and the facts, you confront them what's actually going on. But you do it from a good heart. Because you want them to get from point A to point B. That's what you want. Also, that's the thing, say it when you don't know a thing. Just say it. Just say, that's a really good question. It's just so good that I don't know the answer. But I will write it down and I will point it back to my team. And I promise you that we will discuss it later, but with a proper answer, because I don't want to say things to you that I don't know the answer to be open and honest here. It builds great rapport. Just be honest, don't blab, don't just say things. If you don't know things, you don't know it. And that's fine, that's honest. The quality of your life improves by the amount of hard conversations you're able to follow and take on. The truth is normally hard to hear, and that's why you need to hear it the most. It comes to one thing, addressing the elephant in the room. Like this awkward silence here, that's addressing the elephant in the room. If you're not saying the truth, if something lives on and everyone knows it, everyone knows that it lives on, There's just one big ass elephant in the room. When you're having that type of meeting, when somebody stinks, when somebody do not smell nice, and you're in a big group, everybody smells the same guy there who stinks, but nobody addresses it to him. That's rude. That's rude. Just come up to the guy, walk up to him, and say, hey, sorry man to say that to you, but I really think you could use a bit of perfume, okay? Or just ask around, like, do you have, and pretend it's for you, like, do you have some perfume? Then you're actually helping someone. You don't know if you don't ask. Maybe that person still don't know. And smelling bad, you can fix it with just two sprays.
Bad, you know.
Sometimes, some people just don't.
You think?
Yeah.
Sometimes if I smell bad, I'm like, shit, I smell bad.
Some people just don't know. They're living in the stories. I'm great, it's fine. And then when you're just doing the thing, like, it's addressing the elephant in the room. Again, understanding the other. I think we talked a ton about this. So it's just this again, asking questions. You can only help if you know what's going on. Get a proper diagnose. And that comes to this part. The one who's asking the questions is the one who is in charge. Just like a captain steering his ship. Questions set the course of the conversation. So when you want to create the point B, just ask like, what are your goals? Why do you want to achieve that? What's your goal within this company? What's your goal with the company? What's your vision for it? You let them creating it by asking questions. And if you know it, because they said it and you already confirmed that, you know what to work towards. But it really depends on what you're selling and how long the process is of what you're selling. It's no set structure. It's a framework you can use. Sometimes you know it, but you only know it if they told it to you, and else you should ask a question to confirm. At least that's what I do.
Some easy questions you can ask is, how do you want your company to be? How do you envision it? Where is your company now? Okay, so what are the next steps to get there? What are you trying to do now to reach that goal? For example, what house do you dream of yourself living in? What house do you live in now? Okay, so what's the next steps to get there?
And now is a really important one because it creates urgency. So, like a captain steering the ship, the questions you ask determine the way you're going in the conversation. That's when the one who's asking the questions is taking the lead. Be a owner. Leaders own the situation. Leaders own what's happening to them. Leaders own it. Are you an owner or are you a victim? Same with your clients. Are they owners or are they victims? That determines how you approach them. Everything you point the finger to is the thing you give control over in your life. I personally believe, and it's my own belief, in extreme ownership. Everything I point the finger to right now is the thing I give control. But that's the same with your clients. That's the same with the person you're talking to. Everything they're pointing the finger to is the reason they do not exceed right now. And you can also just point it out, address the elephant in the room there. So you're saying that this and this and this is the reason that you don't succeed right now. Yeah? Okay. So that controls your company. What? I don't understand. Well, everything you point the finger to is the thing you give control over in your life. It's the same in companies. It's the same within everything. You are the one who is responsible. And sometimes you talk to not the right person because that's not the person's provision to be responsible of that part, of course, but then you're talking to the wrong person and you know that. So I've heard a lot of them, this won't work for me. Oh, cool. Why? Why won't this work for you? And sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're right. They give really good reason why it won't work for them. And then you're just like, cool. Then it's not a fit. Then it's not a match. Then I hope I give you some value in this call. And then don't waste any time on it. And sometimes they're wrong. Yes, but my situation is different. What makes your situation different? Why is it different? They are talking to you for a reason. What are you doing? Just for fun? Hopping on calls all day just to see what there is to get? No. That's a waste of your time. That's a waste of my time. They're talking to you for a reason. Yes, but my situation is different. Cool. What's different about it? Is that something we can solve? Then you go back to discovery. I don't have the time right now. I don't have the time to do that. Time is just priority. If you don't have the time to do it right now, you don't prioritize it good enough. Well, that means they don't see the value in it right now. And it's up to you, it's your job, to help them, to get them to point B. So it's up to you to create the value for them. My lead was not good. Some leads are not qualified, that's true. And then you go on. For them, you can also help dozen others. And sometimes It's up to you. How did you approach a conversation? Listen back your calls. When you listen back your calls, you can say, okay, I sucked in this call. Cool, now I can learn from that. What can I do differently? Not how can I do it, what can I do differently? So how do you lead? My personal philosophy. State out the facts and the stories for the person. Open and honest, be radical open and honest. Some people call the Dutch direct. Well, we are, and it's really open and honest, but sometimes we can approach it or bring it a bit more gently, that's true. Understand the other person. Are you an owner or are you a victim? With the outcome of the call, with the outcome of the client, are they owners or are they victims? And how can you lead them in a proper way to point B? Asking questions. There are 3 tools I use for this, most of the time. The golden circle. For who is this familiar? Hands up. There you go. What are you doing? First of all, get the situation. What is happening there? I don't know, just you can tell me. How are you doing it? And then why you are doing it. And then ask why a couple of times, because then you go to the essence. What are you doing? I'm eating a banana. Oh, cool, nice, cool that you're eating a banana. But how are you eating the banana? Like, just I always put it backwards and then peel it from the end. There are people doing that shit, I don't know why. But why do you do it like that? I don't know, my mom told me once and I always struggled with the big pointy thing and then the hat just gets a bit fuzzy and I don't like that in my banana, and when I turn it around, it helps. Oh, but why like that? I mean, you could also do some chocolate in it, right? It was cool. So you get to the point, like it's a stupid example, of course, but the point is to get to the essence. And this framework helps me a lot. Same with this framework, LSA. Listening, summarizing, and asking further questions. I use this all the time, everywhere, even here during this presentation. I ask the question, I summarize what you said, and then I confirm, like, okay, so does it mean like this, this, and this? Cool, okay, so why is that important to you? How can you proceed that differently? Etc., etc. Listening, summarizing, asking questions. Listening, summarizing, and it repeats on and on and on and on and on. And of course, sometimes you need to let them talk a bit more longer, because else it's going to be a really long call. You need to be valuable with your time, of course. But that's a feeling you can create over time when you do it a lot. How do you listen? You also have seen me doing this during this presentation a lot. Show that you're actively listening by looking someone in the eye, nodding your head when they're talking. So this activates engagement in your head. It's a psychological thing. You're more engaged in me because I'm nodding your head and looking you into the eye. And I make confirmation sounds.
It's like having such a technique of psychology, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Inverted psychology.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. You see, I'm just using it here right now. I'm nodding my head, looking you in the eye, and making confirmation sounds. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So keep on talking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Understand. Yeah. Understand correctly. Yeah. You're getting it. You're smiling. You're using it a lot too. Mirroring the person in front of you so they feel more connected, so they can identify themselves a bit in you better. And the more they can identify with you, the more you connect. Also a great principle in marketing as well. The more they can identify with you, the more you can connect. The more you can connect, the easier it is to sell. Client management. There are 2 tools I use for this. 2. Just 2. That's it. Be committed to someone's greatness. You want them to win. You want your client to win, to jump around happy and see all the results I'm getting because of that. That's what you want to be. You want to be the person who gets them to point B from their point A. Can't say it enough. So be committed to their greatness and really be committed. Not only say that you are committed. My whole goal of this whole presentation is giving you golden nuggets. It's giving you value based on what I know. And that's what I did in all the preparation for this presentation. Because that was my goal. I'm committed to your greatness by giving this presentation, by giving golden nuggets, by giving value based on what I know. And maybe some of you know all of this as well. Well, then I failed. Cool, but I was committed to do that. There can only be one person in the angry boat. I love that one. When someone is really angry, be more angry than them. That makes it really fun. I had a client one time, and he's calling me, yeah, but your colleague booked a call, rescheduled the call like 5 times. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. Why did he do that? That's not how we want to proceed. That's not how we want to work. Show me his name. So I personally will ask if he can get fired. There will be consequences for this. I'm like, well, getting fired, well, maybe that's not the right way. Maybe it's a bit too harsh. It really happened. It's fun. It's fun. You just start playing with people. There can only be one person in the angry boat. And if one person is angry, be more angry than them. And that's how you play the game. First of all, it's same with belief. If they don't believe in what you're doing, then don't believe in what you're doing more than them. They will start believing. It's like the reverse psychology thing. Helps sometimes, sometimes not. It's a risky one. Yeah, but I don't know if it's gonna work for me. Cool, then you don't want to be successful. No, you're totally right. You're not gonna succeed. Well, I'm gonna succeed? Fuck you! I'm gonna succeed? Cool, why? And then they start selling themselves again. It's fun. I love this game. Last but not least, who are you? You sell the best when you are yourself. Be your authentic self. Nobody can sell like me, and I can sell like nobody. Why? Because every person is their own person in their own authentic way. Don't be that typical sales guy if that's not you. If you're more relaxed, just of course you mirror the person, you mirror their energy a bit. But if it's not you, if you're playing a part, if you're just playing a role, and I'm a certified actor, so I know something about that, it's not going to be authentic. Even when you're on stage as an actor, you are playing the part as yourself, but just as a different version of yourself. But you're always authentic to your own personal self. That's something you cannot throw away, but that's also what's the key of connecting. Authenticity is really the key. Just be you on the call. Use the frameworks, use the structures, use everything. And maybe because I sound really energetic, that's because I am quite energetic. If you're not energetic, sell it in your way, but sell it in your way that you're still gonna engage, that you're still gonna make contact, that you're still gonna nod your head, you're still gonna say, yeah, you're right.
You're right, man.
There you go. Find your way. And you do that by just putting in the reps and making the numbers and doing your things and making a lot of mistakes. When I'm gonna listen back my first sales approaches or sales calls, I can cry my eyes out. I can tell you that for sure, because it was so bad. But like I said in the beginning of the presentation, I've had over 4,000 sales conversations right now, and I'm still not good. I still need a lot to learn. And I can still learn a lot from you, all of you, because there are a lot of salespeople here. If there are 1,000 people in one room, there are more than 1,000 things to learn. Everybody knows something that you don't. So you're never there, but you're always creating a more authentic version of yourself. You're always creating the person that gets someone from point A to...
Wait,
Funny.
There you go.